yesterday was another double upload day. So I did upload a Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay video. My first time ever playing the game. It's pretty interesting, not gonna lie. Definitely want to check that video out. And then I also uploaded a James Harden to the Miami Heat trade proposal video. I've done these for, Russell Westbrook. Who else have I done it for? Chris Paul. I've done it for a couple other ones, if I do remember. But Giannis, some other ones that I thought the players that were going to get traded. It was trending on Twitter yesterday about James Harden to the Miami Heat, so I thought it'd be kind of a fun idea to do that. So go ahead and check those videos out. I posted yesterday, and then today we're posting again. So if you didn't know, I'm posting every day in December, and so if you wanted to keep up with that, to make sure you subscribe to the channel or just come back to the channel every single day, I suggest subscribing because I think we're almost at 4.8k. So almost at 5k. I mean, I remember someone a while ago said, "Oh, let's get them to 5k before the end of the year." I highly doubted that would happen, and we're actually pretty close now. It's not even Christmas, and we're already at 4,800, which it's terrifying to think about. So if I hit 5k before the end of the year, I'll probably just like cry on camera or something like that. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, other than that, make sure if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Is there anything else I'm missing? I don't think so. I guess we can just jump right to the video then. Okay, so these are the official NBA title odds for the 2020-2021 NBA Championship. So we're gonna go over all 30 teams. So again, if I skip over some things, miss some sort of topics on a team, it's probably just because I'm rushing through because I gotta talk about all 30 teams. So don't need this video to be an hour long. I'm probably just gonna be mostly going over if I agree or disagree with their rankings by what they're going off of. Technically, this can be like a top 10 video, but I talked about all of the teams and where they rank title odds wise, not how they're gonna do in the NBA season, not their records, not anything like that. It's just based on will they win an NBA championship this next year. So, with that being said, we're starting at the bottom, baby. And at the very bottom of the list, the team with the least likeliness to win an NBA championship this year is the New York Knicks. Man, that really sucks. If you know the sort of lingo for title odds, they are plus 25,000. So if you bet like $100 on the Knicks winning a championship this year, you'd be making some big bucks. So hey, if you just have some Christmas money and you want to bet on one of these teams, go for it if you're of legal age, and it's legal to gamble on these where you are. I don't think is it legal? Is it legal to gamble everywhere now? I don't remember. It used to be not, but or you used to have to live in a certain area. But that's pretty cool. That you can win a lot of money from these things. This is from FanDuel, by the way. I don't know if they're like a reliable sort of source for these title odds, but that's where I'm getting mine from. But yeah, last place, the Knicks. Do I believe the Knicks have the least amount of chance to win an NBA title this year? I think I'm gonna have to say no. There's actually a team that's ranked higher than them that I think have the worst odds in the NBA, but we'll get to them in a little bit. But I think the Knicks with RJ, Mitch Robinson, So I really hope they start getting things going. I think the future is very unsure for the Detroit Pistons, which is terrifying. You don't know if they're gonna, battle for, a playoff spot or literally just be the worst team in the NBA. You don't know, which is not what you want in a franchise. You either want to go for it all or rebuild. And it looks like they can't choose what to do with their good players. They don't want to trade them for some reason, or they're just waiting for something to happen to them. So it's pretty terrifying if you're a Detroit Pistons fan. At 27, we have the Charlotte Hornets at plus 16,000. So that is a almost 10,000 plus 10,000 jump from Detroit to Charlotte, which, in my opinion, I don't believe. Their best player right now is arguably a rookie. That's just very terrifying to think about. Then you obviously have, Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier and Bridges. Is it Bridges? I think it is Bridges. The forward that they have there is pretty good, but I don't think they're as talented as they're making them look on this chart. At 26, we have the San Antonio Spurs. Man, how the mighty have fallen. San Antonio Spurs with a plus 13,000 for odds of winning a championship. Man, that's tough. I do feel like there's probably a lot of other teams that maybe have a higher chance. It looks like there's a lot of these next couple teams that are grouped up in the plus 13,000 column, but I don't know if that really messes with, where they rank as of being 26th. But at 25, at plus 13,000, is the Sacramento Kings. And in my opinion, I think the Spurs would have a better chance of winning a title than the Kings. So I don't know if it's just it's because they're plus 13,000, they're ranked, or if it's actually based off of like who's on the team, coaching, how they would play in a playoff series and things like that. So in my opinion, I think the Spurs would have a better chance of winning a title than the Kings. But yes, the Kings are at 25, which is an okay spot. Man, do I think no, obviously I would put the Spurs over them. The Kings are good, but if I was trying to pick them to win a championship and playoff basketball and how to win when it counts the most, I think I'd pick the Spurs, but that's just my opinion. At 24, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder, which they might actually have the least, capability of winning a title. I mean, you have Shea, and you got Shea. No, Shea, Al Horford, Luke Dort. Man, that's really about it. I mean, Trevor Ariza. That's tough. I think actually maybe OKC may have the least, chance of winning a title this year. And obviously they wouldn't even want to try. They're trying to tank and 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 tank for the next 21 seasons, it seems like, because they have so many draft picks. But no, I think they might be a bottom of the barrel team. I don't know how they have the same odds of winning a title as like the Spurs do or something like that. It's kind of weird. At 23, we have the Chicago Bulls, also at plus 13,000. So they have the Bulls, the Thunder, the Kings, and the Spurs all wrapped up in the same sort of area of being title odds. Which, I mean, I guess I can see that, but I would definitely put the Spurs ahead of all of these teams, not only because of the championship pedigree the Spurs have and carry themselves have, but they also have DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge and DeJounte Murray and Derek White. So I think they have a better team put together, so I would actually put the Spurs at 23, in my opinion, but still not a bad spot in my opinion. Then for the Bulls, I'd probably put them right under them. I really like Zach LaVine. You guys know that. Kobe White is looking a lot better. They obviously have Lauri Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr., so the team isn't looking too bad. And I also watched a couple preseason games with the rookie they just drafted, who looks very promising. He looks very NBA body ready, which is one of the most important things a rookie can do, is sort of get that NBA body ready in him, and it looks like he does. So as long as he still always starts to get better every year at an offensive game, he's good to go. So Bulls at 23. At 22, ranked above them at plus 12,000, or the Orlando Magic. Wow, that might That's honestly not bad. I could see them again making a playoff spot, but that's probably about it, if I'm being honest. But I love Karl Anthony Towns, dude. That dude is hopefully gonna be an All-Star this year. I really hope so. At 20, we have the Washington Wizards, and with the Washington Wizards, we have them at the 20th, top 20, with a plus 10,000. Sorry, odds of winning, which the next 4 teams are bunched up in the same category. So think of these teams all as being in the same category according to this website. I think as of right now, the odds are going good. Like I said before, I think I would put the Spurs a little bit higher, but that's probably about the only argument I'd put on this list. So yeah, the Wizards at 20. Obviously having Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Rui Hachimura, Thomas Bryant, which yes, I did see the Blake Griffin and Thomas Bryant scuffle, if you even wanted to call it that. Blake is just such a troll. It's very funny to watch. And Denny, my boy Denny, hopefully does well this year. That team looks good, and that's almost, I almost want to like guarantee them, like make like a really bold statement and like guarantee the Wizards get a playoff spot. But I'm not that bold. Not that bold. So I'm definitely very excited just to watch the team play. But I think they obviously have a very good chance of making the playoffs. And hey, man, if you're a 1 seed or a 2 seed having to go up against this very good backcourt with Harden and Bradley Beal and Thomas Bryant and Rui Hachimura are playing very well, and Denny develops over this season. You still have Troy Brown Jr. That team is looking pretty good. Not gonna lie. At 19, right above them, same odds though, are the Memphis Grizzlies. Do you think the Grizzlies have a better chance of winning a title this year than the Wizards? That's so hard to think about, because when you think about, this team winning a title odds, you think of like the really good teams, and it's pretty easy to think about that. But the Memphis Grizzlies are a scary team with Ja, because dude, I've been watching Ja's games in the preseason, and I am scared being a fan of another Western Conference team, and excited to see him play, because being a fan of basketball, man, he looks like he is going to make another huge jump, it seems like. So if he does, that's awesome. Which, I mean, Memphis can definitely snag that 8th, 7th, 6th seed spot if they all play extremely well, which is very possible. Obviously, they were doing very well last year for just being a young team and not knowing what was going on. I'm sure no one in the front office knew what was going on. They probably just threw all those young guys together and they figured it out very well. Or having to face Memphis in a play-in game, if you're the 10th or 9th seed like they did last year against Portland, that's also very terrifying. So Memphis is a team to definitely watch out for, definitely for sure. I think with the Wizards probably have a better title odds because they play in the Eastern Conference, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. At 18, we have the Indiana Pacers, same title odds, and right above them are the Atlanta Hawks at 17. So, in my opinion, with these 4 teams, who do I think has the best odds to win a title, man? I have no idea. I mean, obviously, between all these 4 teams, I think maybe Trae Young or Russell Westbrook are the best players. And I think the newly acquired Atlanta Hawks team is going to struggle a little bit trying to get readjusted to each other. Not only because they're young, but also because it's their first year all together. I don't know how well that's going to go for a first year out. With the Wizards, you're just plopping one player who didn't play for a player who is playing in Russell Westbrook, so I might actually put them above everyone. And then maybe the Wizards right below them, but you could probably switch the two and not be that big of a difference. And then Indiana is just a team where I'm terrified of what Indiana's going to do this year. They might play really good, be like a 5th seed in the Eastern Conference like they did last year, and just be the same exact team. Or they could literally just nuke their whole team and just start trading players left, right, and center, start getting assets and trades and draft picks and things like that. It can go either way, and it's terrifying. getting Alonzo Ball and hoping and praying and knocking on wood that he develops his game a little bit more. We still have good bench play with Josh Hart and Jackson Hayes and Gigi Redick, obviously. So that team is looking pretty good. You got a new head coach who might do a good job, and Stan Van Gundy. I'm not sure about that pickup, but it should be really good. So yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good title on. At 15, so we're cracking the top 15, the top half of the NBA. We have the Houston Rockets at plus 7,000. This one is very hard to rank. Also, when I did my East and West conference standing video, talking about the Houston Rockets was so hard because, like, I don't know if I want to rank what I think they're going to be on or what they are right now, because I think James Harden's going to get traded before the end of the season. So if that does happen, they go way down. But if James Harden stays, he plays like he just did last year, averaging 24 to 26 points per game. That team is still really good, obviously, with John Wall being able to average like 20 points and 8 assists a game. You have Boogie Cousins, who looks pretty okay. Looks like he can give you like 15 and 7 or 6. So their team is looking not too half bad. It really just depends on James Harden, and if James Harden stays, then this is a pretty fair one. If James Harden leaves for a trade for, again, the Heat for Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson and picks, or to the 76ers for Ben Simmons, they could fall pretty far. At 14, we have the Portland Trailblazers at plus 5,500. I think I agree with this, only because it's a new team. Again, you're adding a lot of new players to the team, obviously. Portland usually plays its best when they're the underdog, which they aren't really this year. I've seen a lot of articles picking Portland to be a top 4 seeded team in the NBA. Oh, look out for Portland, they're the next team up, this, that, and the other. I hate that. I like when Portland plays as the underdogs. 2, they mostly play good together when it's a set team. If you remember back in the days with, Mason Plumlee, Alfred Aminu, Mo Harkless, Myers Leonard, like that team of guys really grew up together. And then obviously you pop out Mason Plumlee, you put in Nurkic, and then that team explodes to, making the conference finals. And then we disband everybody, and then we struggled a lot this past year, obviously due to injury, but also just new players. We are also adding in new players again this year. Like, it's going to be very tough on a certain season. So I do agree with Portland not being a super high title odd favorite team, which thank God they aren't, because again, I like Portland when they play as the underdog. So I agree with them being in the top half of the title odd sort of rankings for teams, but not too high. At 13, though, also at plus 5,500, are the Phoenix Suns. So do I agree that Portland should have the same title odds as the Suns? I'm going to say no. I think Portland has a better chance of winning a title than them. Obviously, again, being a team with another sort of new, well, I guess they lost them, they lost Rubio as well, so they're losing a lot of sort of presence in their point guard position, which is obviously the most important position, but you're getting all that back with one of the best point guards of all time in Chris Paul. So in my opinion, I would put them over the Suns, but giving them the same title odds, I guess I can see that because Booker and Ayton are already so good, and you're just plopping in Chris Paul, so not too bad. Plus they have a great coach in Monty Williams, so I can attest to that, but I think Portland will have a team didn't even get to play their full-time guys in the preseason. So having a shortened season, is that going to hurt them? I think yes, which is why it was very tough for me to talk about them in my ranking video for potential playoff seeding and stuff like that for my video that one day. So the Warriors definitely look good. They have a good chance for sure. Obviously having Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, their guys look pretty good, but will it be enough? I'm not convinced yet. Sorry about that. At plus 2,500 though, so that's a 1,100 jump from the Jazz to the Warriors, and then here are your top 10 teams. I could just make this top 10 video. Top 10 teams of winning the NBA championship this year. Sorry. And at number 10, we have the Philadelphia 76ers at plus 2,400. Wow. Is that low for Philly? I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, they're in trade talks a lot as well, so you kind of have to put that into a little bit of perspective. But, man. I mean, obviously, having Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, you're definitely going to be top 10. That duo is insane. Their shooting is really good. Their depth is a little bit better, not where you would really want it to be. They do also have a new head coach, getting Doc Rivers on that team. And I think they also have Mike D'Antoni, which is super crazy that he would agree to be an assistant coach. But I like the team, so top 10 for sure. But we have the Raptors at number 9. So do you think the Raptors have a better chance of winning an NBA title this year than the 76ers? Who knows? But they are plus 2,200 compared to the 76ers plus 2,400. At number 8, we have the Dallas Mavericks. Wow. That must be a humongous jump from last year. I need to check out last year's title odds for them because they're 8th now at plus 2,200 as well. So they have the same title odds as the Raptors, but I would just give the Raptors the edge because they play in the East, not as hard as competition, obviously in the lower end of the sort of playoff rankings. But man, that's a crazy jump. Obviously, with me picking again, spoiler alert for one of my other videos, Luka Doncic having an MVP season, Rick Carlisle having a Coach of the Year season. That's possible, I guess, for them to be 8th in the league, and that's so crazy. At 7, we have the Miami Heat. Team went to the finals last year. Were somewhat close on winning a championship. Obviously, going to the finals is pretty rough, so they are plus 2,000, so a slight smidge over the Dallas Mavericks for title odds. And can I agree to that? I mean, I don't think I can because, again, like in the West, you have the Clippers and Lakers. You have the battle through in Denver, and even the 8-seeded teams like the Pelicans or Portland or the Warriors, the Rockets. Like there's such tough outs for the bottom tier and the high tier. It's just all a bloodbath for teams. So I'd put Toronto over them just based off of that, in my opinion. And the Miami Heat. At 6, you have the Denver Nuggets at 1,600. So, again, a pretty big jump, plus 400. I like Denver's odds of winning a title. It obviously just comes down to the play of their role guys. I know Jamal Murray and Jokic are going to be absolutely amazing, but it's just obviously going to come down to Michael Porter Jr., Will Barton, how they play together, if Paul Millsap can keep it up the Celtics at 5 to the Clippers at 4 at plus 60. Sorry, why did I say 60? 650. So it goes from 1600 to 650. That's a big jump. At number 3, ooh, we have the Brooklyn Nets with KD and Kyrie. Wow, so this team, full year, the first full year this team is together, they're already the third team ranking to have a title win this year. That is so crazy. I guess it just comes down to how well KD can play, and that's about it, because where that team goes, it's going to come down to KD and how well he can play, and he looks fine. It's just gonna matter if he can, dial it up in the playoffs like he can, like we've seen before in the playoffs. So if it comes down to that, you gotta pray that KD can do it. They have Kyrie, Cashapp, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jared Allen, DeAndre Jordan, Joe Harris. That team's pretty stacked on depth as well, so that team has a very good chance. And then at plus 5,500, the number 2 team is the Milwaukee Bucks. Number 2, plus 5,500, just barely over the Brooklyn Nets. That's so crazy. And then barely over the Clippers. So this top 4 teams are looking like the most teams to be picked to win a title this year. Obviously now Giannis signing that extension probably looks a little bit better, and you can count on them for trying to win a title now that Giannis has re-signed his contract. They have Drew Holiday, they have Chris Middleton, they have a good depth, well, okay depth. They have good depth, but not as good as it used to be. Good coaching. They've always been a top team in the regular season, which always guarantees them to have a good seeding standing, being a top 4 team. So they always have a good chance of winning a title, and I think they always will as long as they're a top, 2-3 seed in the East. I think they have a good chance. But at number 1, you have the team who won it last year. The LA Lakers are your pick. Well, not your pick, but their pick, and the experts' pick for winning another title this year, going back to back at plus 2,700. Yeah, plus 27, not 2,700, 270. So if you put some money down on the Lakers winning a title this year, you're not going to get a whole lot out, but a pretty good chunk of money. So, in my opinion, they definitely do have the best chance of winning the title this year. I can get that out, I guess. As my pick, I think I would pick them at going back for back. I'd probably pick, the Lakers, then probably Milwaukee, then probably the Clippers, in my opinion. And then, after them, I'd pick the Nets, if they all can play well. And then I'd pick, I think I really like what Miami did last year. They might play to that sort of standard again this year. So I might pick Miami at 5 or Boston at 5. Miami or Boston, one of those Eastern Conference teams for sure. But I think the Lakers do have the best title odds to win it out this year again. They just got better than they did last year, and last year they won a championship. So there's nothing you can really take away from that. LeBron doesn't look any worse. AD looks like he's getting better and getting more adjusted to being the best player on his team and getting ready to take over that role once LeBron sort of lets him have it. Sort of like how D-Wade gave LeBron the sort of best player on the team sort of title in Miami. So I'm very interested to see what happens this year. So that are the title odds for this upcoming season. So if you agree, disagree with whatever this list said from FanDuel, let me know down in the comments. Let me know who you think is going to win the NBA championship this year down in the comments. We may come back here at the end of this upcoming season and comment down below who you thought has won and if they did win or not. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't watched my double upload day that I posted yesterday,